Hey everyone, it's Jakey Jake's Metal Chat, and welcome to another Jake's Metal Chat interview. Like I said, they'll happen when they happen. It depends on guests' availability, but one's actually in my house for a change instead of either me going to theirs or there. This is Matt of the band Blaspheme. If you haven't seen them, then go watch them.
Yeah.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good, thanks, Jake. It's handy that we only live like 2 minutes from each other, so this could work out.
And we have coffee as well, so
that we do.
He has a cancer mug.
I just finished a 13-hour shift, mate. So a coffee. You're gonna go down all right.
Yeah, it's all gonna be good. Don't need you to drink coffee on my chat this very much.
But yeah, if we're talking in terms of blaspheme, it's moored. You know, yeah, but we're just chatting.
We're just chatting.
So it's cool.
In terms of that,
yeah, I don't have the energy to be that. I can't be moored for.
Yeah. So when you see him on stage, he's that guy. When he's out, after that, he's just
When the paint goes on, that's it. You know what I mean? Like
that's it.
And I think that's really kind of why we stuck with doing the paint, because sound wise, it didn't really. It was important to have that mask, to have that kind of that character. Yeah, because in the early days,
someone else for
got to be that like 30 minutes,
30 minutes.
Yeah, just gotta do that. But in the early days, like Jake he did for the entire time didn't say a single word to the audience. Like it was very when the band kind of started, like we had thought about that, like a bit more kind of conceptual, but we weren't going to ever do it as good as, say, Dragged into Sunlight or something like that. So it's like, and then this is why I don't do white paint, because after doing white paint for 6 years, I still couldn't get it right.
No, it's hard to get it right.
So it's like, if I can't do it, like, what am I like? So now I just, black out the eyes and then shitload of fake blood. And then that gets me.
That still works.
Gets me in character well enough.
Or just black eye paint and like Tom G. Roy in the early days.
Yeah. Simple, yeah.
It's easy. Don't need to do the white paint.
Simple, yeah. That's just as long as you look cool and then you deliver on stage, everyone's happy. If you go out without paint and you deliver on stage, everyone's happy as well.
Yeah. Either way, people are happy. So here's a question I ask pretty much every guest. I've had too many guests now. I can't count how many I've had. But I've changed how I ask the question. God, I want a proper interview then.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Where did your journey into metal begin?
This would have the genesis of it would have been my dad. So, like, we were chatting, and I was listening to Hendrix and stuff like that, and he talked about that he listened to Deep Purple back like university or something like this, and this was a big deal for me. And he mentioned that he had like a Deep Purple cassette or something about, and anyway, he dug it out. It wasn't Deep Purple, I'm pretty sure of that, but whatever it was cool as hell. I think it was just been like a kind of shit, like kind of like 70s 80s kind of collection or something like that,
whatever it was.
But there might have been Deep Purple on it for sure. But anyway, yeah, so that was incredible, getting to listen to that with my dad, because my dad was sort of he didn't like that kind of thing, didn't like kind of me always playing guitar, being too loud, all of that kind of that kind of thing. So it was like, yeah, absolutely, he did, ticking every box, doing all the right things, and then that led on to Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden was always, like, I suppose, if we're kind of a band, if it was like kind of my first love as a band, whatever, Maiden would definitely be that. So yeah, that's when things accelerated, and then learning guitar. I never did like lessons or anything like that, but I got tab books and things, and eventually I think Aces High was like the one song that I learned to play like the whole way through. Yeah, it's a fucking fantastic. I couldn't play it now.
No, I can't play anyone. Well, that's a lie. I can play the beginning of Run to the Hills on bass.
Uh-huh.
I can play that bit.
Yeah.
The whole song.
That's different.
Don't even get me to try and do
You
it.
know what, man? That's those songs that sound so simple. There's are really difficult, and to get that bend on a guitar to do it exactly right each time is a pain in the ass. It's
how they do it, I don't know.
And then also, you're on the verse with the and you fuck that up one time. You fuck that up one time. You throw the whole thing off, man, or whatever. Like, oh, that's simple shit. It's just
we can do it. Didn't
Yeah.
I? Nope, solved it. No,
Yeah.
no, I quit, guys.
yeah, pretty much. That's how I got when
Rage quitting on the drums.
yeah,
Or any
just
instrument.
having jams back in the day and stuff. Yeah, you'd think you could do this song because you could do Run to the Hills. It's going to be all right. Maybe not sing it quite right, but
No one's
you
gonna
can't get through the verse.
Yeah,
You can't get through the fucking verse.
You don't get for the verse. No one's gonna. If you're a vocalist trying to do that bit, it's not gonna sound like Bruce Dickinson or anything.
No,
Because there's only one Bruce Dickinson, and that's
it's silly too. But yeah, so my journey into metal, definitely Maiden. They was a big catalyst for that, and quite quickly after that, because a lot of friends got into Metallica, and I always knew there was something wrong with Metallica. I always knew I was right.
Metallica fans, you're gonna don't get upset now.
What it was, I enjoyed a little bit Ride the Lightning, and then like a lot of friends were then listening to the Black Album a lot, and I was like, yo, this doesn't change pace at all.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
Another buddy of mine was listening to Pantera, Anthrax, stuff like that. An early band for me, like actually pretty much at the start, at the same time as Maiden, like really early on, was also Cannibal Corpse and Mayhem.
Yeah, I got in the got Mayhem a bit later.
So very, very early on was those. And I think it's obviously because of the name, because of the image. There's a wicked shop in Reading called Sound Machine back in the day, and they did clothes as well. So seeing I think my first t-shirt I ever bought was a Maiden like US one, with Eddie as kind of the "We Need You." That's
like with the wallpapers. We Need You.
That's exactly
Like so,
it was that, but also I think I bought a Cannibal Corpse hoodie there because it was sick, and I still got that hoodie and I still wear that shit. Like and I've just, of course, you see fucking Mayhem all about and things like that, and I think very early on I got that Milan is Captured live album just purely because of the picture on the front of Meaty Boy cutting himself. Who it was it Maniac? Oh Jesus Christ, we're gonna look fools.
Maniac,
we're gonna look fools on the
might have been dead.
No,
that wasn't dead. No,
it was dead.
Might have been Maniac.
Yeah.
We'll say Maniac for now.
Anyway, they was also having a love of extreme metal was always present, very much fucking present. So when another buddy of mine was also kind of getting into Pantera and like Anthrax and stuff like that, we were then all about that, and then just kind of then trying to push it. So that's when they're listening to Mayhem quite a lot, especially that particular live album. We had a cassette of a bunch of different like metal live albums, so we just taking tracks off of that. I had the Pantera one, like I said, the Anthrax one, the whole bunch of others that I'm forgetting right now. But yes, the Slayer Decade of Live Aggression. That was a double CD. That was cool. So yeah, it was all that kind of standard sort of shit that you kind of get into, and then love of Cannibal Corpse and stuff, and then that kind of sends you down a different sort of path. You end up with your Morbid Angels and your Hate Eternals and things. All while your other mates are still listening to the Black Album. So you know what I mean? We're living rich, fruitful lives. And
there's people that still listen to the same bands. They don't explore new bands.
I got good friends who are just like, music like began and ended with Mushroomhead. Like, for real? And they're just like, yep, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Mushroom.
What's up, Andy?
I mean, if you like Mushroomhead and stuff like that, fair enough. I just won't cover. I won't cover any bands like that. Any bands like
I don't get it.
Asking Alexandra and crap like that. I won't cover it on this channel. Only
It's not
heavy metal, thrash metal, death
Yeah.
metal, black metal, doom metal, sludge metal, folk metal.
I just don't know.
I
Like,
showed that earlier in my chat. You'll see that later.
but what do they?
Metal
Because-
box, sorry.
Because I think it. Who is growing up in the same way like we are and like discovering shit like the music that we do, and you know what I'm saying, like, and we then want to start bands and we're either technically proficient and that leads us down one way, or we're like, fuck, I can't do what I love to listen to, but what I can do is, and that leads us down another. What's happening with these people like who make the bands like this Asking Alexandra, or any of these fucking, any of the bands who then sing at you, but then also it has to be a money thing, right? Because like girls like this stuff, they like being screamed at, but it's not proper. It's like screaming. So it's like, okay, it's like, oh, yo, you like listening to screaming music? I'm just going to chuck Dying Fetus on, and all of a sudden they don't like it. Like,
yeah, it's like when someone says, "Oh, I listen to everything." No, you bloody don't.
Let me put Goat Whore on.
Yeah, let me put like
Hey,
that
you
one.
Anal cunt.
Yeah, that band,
Yeah.
you know, put a bit of Seth on screaming in your head.
But not be funny. You listen to everything. There's fucking. Do you want to listen to fucking Screwdriver? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, come on.
Yeah,
like, pick a fucking lane. Like, for real.
There's a band I won't cover on that on this channel because
probably best best not to touch those fucking
because
those dumb cunts.
they did those videos around 2020. What was it? Fuck racism.
Oh right,
A bunch of bands just came on and was like, "Hi, this is so and so saying fuck racism."
Oh, I remember now. Yeah. Because I
don't stand for that shit, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just go away.
Fuck all those small-minded people. It's unbelievable, man. How pathetic you can be.
This is just me, and I stand by it. If you're a racist and you're in the metal scene, you're not a metalhead. You're just a piece of crap.
You're an angry person.
You're an angry person.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're in the wrong place.
And you've probably been easily led. So yeah, you're in the wrong place. Go away. But
yeah, no.
Yeah, if I did a chat like that on this, yeah,
the two don't go hand in hand.
Don't go hand in hand,
because this is what people on the outside looking in. This is what's so fantastic, and everyone watching this will totally get this. On the outside, when looking in, is how your mums and your grands were just like, oh, they're all screaming about the devil and all of this kind of stuff. And then
massive misconception.
Then someone smart will then say to them, is just like, oh, but you know, dear, he's fucking singing about it, but he ain't going out and doing it, is he? It's that kind of, you know, it's that sort of thing. So there's no like hiding in plain sight. There's no, if you're that kind of person, if you're a horrible racist kind of a person, you're not going to be able to, you can't coexist with us. You can't coexist in the metal scene because we're all of a type where we're actually like, do you know what, dear? Actually, they're all sound. They're not these horrible kind of things, whatever. Now, if you're, I don't see this as a world that I don't know. Like, if you fucking work 9 to 5 and live for the weekend, and all you do is shove shit up your nose, and you're out like just spunking all your money and things like that, whatever. That's a world where we know that like misogynistic people live. We know like that's a world where kind of homophobic kind of like gangs are very lads kind of a thing or whatever. These things don't happen in heavy metal.
It's just douchebags as well.
It just doesn't happen, but it happens in regular, your fucking middle of the lane, regular bullshit or whatever kind of society, whatever. And in those circles, it's going to be lovely people, and in those circles, it's going to be complete wankers or whatever. But you tend to find that
just complete idiots.
Yeah, tend to find with metal, it's cut off all the shit off. This cut the crust off of, you know what I mean? I was going to say shit sandwich, but of a good sandwich. And we're left with good people, really, like, who've got like good heart, whatever. Who, guess what? Covered in tattoos, like to dress different. We like to I like to scream.
Tattoos, he's covered them.
Am I?
Yeah, there's a lot of tattoos. You forgot me.
Shit, I forgot what I was going to say, but it's that cathartic thing.
It'll come back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean.
It's the alternative crowd finding one another. Do you know what I mean? And if some small-minded prick is in that, they're going to get found out pretty quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a thorn in the side. metal is a pure kind of happy kind of community at its, you know, spirit. It is about that, and just that ain't welcome.
It's not.
It ain't. Part of me now wants to turn the conversation onto that Glory Hammer guy and all of that. Like, why has he been allowed to tour and shit like that?
I don't know, but let's get off that because I don't care about.
No, we don't give a shit about.
I don't care about those.
We're not giving them the time.
No, we're not. I'm not.
It's just fun to talk. It's just fun to talk endlessly about metal. But no, carry on.
Yeah. But in conclusion, those guys, twats.
Yeah.
End of.
End of. And yeah, extreme metal and traditional metal got me into, you know, kind of where we're at, you know, where we find ourselves.
Well, it's still on the topic of metal, but it kind of veered. But that happens on these chats, so
it's good content.
It's good content. Yeah. Well, I got into. I was listening like Jimi Hendrix and Cream, and obviously my mum got me into Queen when I was growing up.
Beatles. My mum loved the Beatles. Yeah.
Well, my mum loves obviously Queen. She loves Elvis.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra.
Elvis was the first CD I ever bought. First CD I ever bought at Virgin Megastore. It was ridiculous, like $17.99 or something. Double CD of his RCA years, and still rate it. Still rate it, bruv. Like
it's Elvis.
It's you know,
king of rock and roll. You know.
Yeah, and again, we find ourselves coming back to that racist conversation.
Let's not go back to that.
No, for real. I'm sorry, but those early cuts, like, it's so fucking pure, and it is rhythm driven, and everything's like, it's cleanly played, but of course it just sounds just that little, because it's rock, you know what I'm saying? They're giving it something, and but yeah, love him or hate him, like fucking
love him or hate him. Same with Queen, love him or hate him.
Just amazing. Queen's one of those where I wouldn't call myself a fan of Queen, but my God, can I listen to everything and say just everything, just spot on. Listen to Bohemian Rhapsody and actually really listen to that from a technical standpoint, from a whatever standpoint you want to, know, from a theory standpoint, or just you know what I mean, like Sandra down the pub who just knows the bit about the, it just doesn't matter. That song translates, and it is incredibly difficult. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and of course we know it's two songs put into one or whatever. Just like, I
mean, they could have added a load more stuff, and it'd be like 14, 15 minutes long, but it didn't go that. They didn't go overboard. So
no, again, it's somehow just kind of right.
It's great,
it sits.
It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just right. That's I like that.
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks. Oh, I did.
And but I tell you, it sits alongside, dong, dong, dong. One of the most simple, kind of just on the beat. Just it sit, and then Bohemian Rhapsody, and they sit side by side perfectly. And that's just fantastic. Like when a great band, something like Deathspell Omega or something, each album they bring you just slightly different. Eternus as well. Each album just like something just a little slightly different. To a point, Enslaved, but I dropped out with them. I gave up.
Yeah, I don't listen to them too much. Some bands I don't really listen to anymore. I'm not gonna name any of them,
but it's more that they just kind of gave you something different each time. Yeah, you know what I mean. But not in the same way that Queen and Beatles did. But,
you still got...
I'm done. I'm waiting for my refill.
That's how much more coffee I got. But comes in my house, does this chat, goes on a rant. Now he wants more coffee. What do you? Oh, wait, just take my whole freezer.
Will do. I live on the stuff.
Anyway, so got into that. Got into metal. I don't know when you would have got into that. What year would that been?
Kind of started teenage years, kind of thing. I remember. Brave New World 2000s? was really 2000s. Brave New World was it was about 2000 because that's when that was released.
Yeah, I got the Metallica and all that around 2003. So that's 20 years ago now.
Yeah, I remember. So we was into stuff. I was into punk, I think, for a little bit, for quite a while before.
I still got a bit of punk in my collection.
Lots of ska punk and stuff like that. And just kind of just into a lot of shit. And then stuff like Body Count as well.
Ice T's band.
Yeah.
It's in the wife.
And then Brave New World hit, and it all kind of coincided with kind of senior school and all of that, and teenage years, and fucking hell, mate, that, and then obviously then learning to play out guitar. Goddamn.
I stopped playing guitar when I was 13, and my first guitar, I need to get it restrung and everything, is the Mick Thompson model of the PC Rich Warlock.
Wow.
Because I got into Slipknot around the same time as like Metallica and all that.
Sure.
I don't listen to Slipknot. I still got the CDs. So that's more like nostalgia purposes.
Everyone had that. Show me someone who says, "Oh no, Slipknot and Korn, nah, mate, nah, I wasn't." I'll show you a liar, because
it's like, but it is. Well, but yeah, it's like nah. Liar.
Whether you like it or not, you fucking listen to it.
You listen to it, and it's like an early band for a lot of people, and then people found like, Morbid Angel. Sorry, Slipknot.
Precise. It's
So Deicide. Sorry, Slipknot.
Exactly. Well, and that's what's funny. Deicide, on the best of Deicide from Roadrunner thing, the liner notes are written by Joey Jordison.
Yeah,
there you go.
Big fan of death metal.
Absolutely, fucking loves it. Loved it. He still loves it. He still loves it. Yeah.
May rest in peace, because he is a.
He's
seen him live. He was excellent.
He's brown bread, mate.
Excellent drummer.
No, yeah.
I was like, I can't play that. But yeah, I got into Pantera, Slipknot, Metallica, Slayer, all around the same time, and I was like, well, there's got to be more things. I obviously heard Korn, Biscuit, and then 2004 rolled around. 2005, I was like, Cannibal Corpse, because I met everyone in secondary school said, check out Cannibal Corpse and Lamb of God at the same time. Checked out Cannibal Corpse, and people who watch my channel be like, what are you saying? I did get on with Cannibal Corpse at first, because I was like,
sure,
guitars were cool, bass was cool, drums, but when it got to Chris Bond's vocals, that was the first lot of Cannibal Corpse I heard.
Yeah, I
was like, this don't like this, no, and then went back to it, found Hammer Smash Face, and I was like, oh, I'm hooked.
So I heard, when I first heard Transylvanian Hunger, man, I fucking hated that shit.
I got that.
I was just, I was like, I don't get it, and I didn't know much black metal. This when we were kids, but I was like, I know I like one dark band, I don't like the other. Like, is it Dark Funeral or Dark Throne? I couldn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
there's a lot of bands with dark in it.
But it's like, to think of me thinking of things like that at that time or whatever, just absolutely nuts. So then I was like, okay, Dark Funeral, that I can dig, and I went for that because of course it is much more like straight ahead. If I'm honest, couldn't fucking listen to it now, whereas Transylvanian Hunger, just give it to me and just put it in my face.
Get your dose of Transylvanian Hunger fix.
Yeah, man.
And just atmospheric black metal in general, because I love the more atmospheric stuff. There's a band I checked out called Phaedra. It's a one-man black metal band, but you don't know who the person is because he lets the music speak for himself.
Perfect.
It's got a new album out. I haven't heard the whole album. I just heard one song. I was just instantly hooked by it because it comes out with this like piano intro and some other instrument. I can't picture what it is, but I know it's a stringed instrument. Then it just kicks in, but it's very atmospheric.
Nice.
Something that you can go to the woods and just put it on and just lose yourself in the woods, basically.
That is what that genre can do so much, and a lot of it can do so much with so little. But then at the same time, it can be so intense and just overwhelming, but just at the same time washing over you. Black metal is hypnotizing. It is unlike anything else, and the style of music within black metal spans. Like you're saying, there's atmospheric stuff. You can listen to ambient stuff and just be like, no, this is black metal. This is black metal. And then you can listen to first wave stuff or whatever, people who didn't even consider that they were doing black metal because it wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing. It was just them playing something completely different from like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Motorhead. Well, it would have been influenced by Motorhead, but
all of this. And then you know what I'm saying, and then you can listen to something very modern like Acleus or something like that. Is that how you say that name? I know they're very well produced shit. Or like Afsky or this new kind of stuff that's very it's very cleanly produced, very good, and it's fucking fantastic, and it takes you on a fucking journey.
Yeah.
For real. But you know, the ethos of the dirtiness or whatever, that's gone. But it doesn't matter because they suddenly break into something beautiful and acoustic or whatever, and then it kicks back.
It just gets back in.
Yeah. And then you honestly, then you listen to something like Dark Space or something, which is just going to be just like oppressive and just on, or any of like the Nidaros scene that they've got going on. That I will just my record collection. I did have it sort of in styles. Now I've got it. It's Norwegian top bit. Then underneath it's kind of like Europe and a bit of and it's like quite a bit of like Ukrainian stuff as well. Then it kind of gets down to sort of weird and wonderful, all over the world kind of thing, whatever. And so I'm able to kind of dip in and out, and there's like big Finnish section and stuff like that. So I'm just within my own collection of black metal, there is so fucking much, and I'm barely scratching the surface.
Yes, just like, well, this album here is by a band called Worm.
Oh yeah,
Gloom Lord. That's one you can just put on when you're in the woods, because it's Death Doom from Florida. Well, at the time, there's only two guys doing it. They've got a whole band now. They've already done the shows. Come to the UK, please.
Nice. Oh, an Iron Bonehead. Yeah. Sick.
So I showed this in my last favorite death metal albums. I know it's Death Doom, so I was like cheating a bit, but it's got death in it. So
well, yeah.
But there you go.
Well, this is what we're saying. If it's things to qualify as black metal, things can still qualify as death metal, even if it's our Death Doom. If it's got a heavy death metal influence, then that's cool.
Yeah, I know people that only like this album. They don't like anything else after that. Well, I know one YouTuber that does.
Oh, for sure.
But fair enough. That's the thing you like, because I think it's like,
if that ticks your box, then
because I mean, they're all great. They all got different things going for them. But that's quite dark. You know, just evil.
Good.
I've been saying that a lot in my videos. Like, this is dark and evil. It's evil and dark. It's filth.
Good.
Pure, filthy, disgusting, horrible death metal or something.
Good.
That's what I usually say. People who watch my videos know what I like.
When you get round
and what I don't like.
Yeah, when you get round to something that's a little bit more clean cut, I'm sure you'll say it's more clean cut. But for right now, if it's filthy, say it's fucking filthy, and I want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just I've been listening to a bit of Revenge recently, and just oh my god, like, just Revenge. Give me that filth, mate. Give me that fucking.
Give me some filthy warm metal.
Yeah,
black and death, warm metal, whatever you want to call it.
Again, can't, like, what is it? Is it black metal? Is it death metal? Like, well, it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
it's ultra. It's really fast. Like, you're going into war metal now. Easy as that. Yeah. So it's like cool. But it's like you get all these different genres before we get on to like next question about what bands you've been in before the band we're going to talk about. But you got your Viking metal, you got your pirate metal.
Yeah,
I think there's one
subgenres.
So but then when I think I'm on them off, I don't call them Viking metal. I call them melodic death metal because that's what they are.
Yeah.
People call them Viking metal because all their things.
They sing about Vikings.
They sing about Vikings, Norse mythology, and everything else.
Yeah, that's it.
But if you want to call them Viking metal, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you for it. And then same with a certain band I'm not going to name, but they class themselves as pirate metal. But not gonna name that one. But I'm going to name a good one. Lagerstein. Check out Lagerstein.
Okay.
Really good band from Australia. Really good band.
I won't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
don't listen to that. Yeah.
Matt likes his black metal.
yeah.
And extreme stuff like. I mean, make people know me. It's like, oh, you know, your death metal. Like,
I listened. Do you know I have actually been listening back on a lot of death metal recently? Actually, because I hadn't heard the latest Cattle Decapitation, so I listened on that.
I haven't heard that one yet. No.
I really enjoyed it. Gave that a few spins, and at what was it? Summer Breeze saw Dying Fetus. Fantastic. I know you're going to talk about Decapitated in another video that we were talking about off camera, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying then
they played
more.
Mate, they played just it was a great, solid, just nice little tight set. The
album that I'm playing tomorrow is this one.
It was good, man. It was good to see some good death metal, and of course, one of my all-time favorite bands, Obituary.
Oh yeah.
So going back to like the first question, I bet they were also one of the very very early bands I was listening to.
Yeah, I got into them like
It was because of
2008.
It was because of downloading. That's what it was. It was
Yeah,
like
a lot of us were downloading
Kazaa,
albums back
it
in
was
the day from like
Kazaa
Morpheus,
and Lime,
Napster,
LimeWire and shit.
LimeWire, so like
Yeah, that's how I got into it. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I would have done. I remember using, I think it was LimeWire or something,
yeah.
where I could download the whole discography and it got
Yeah.
like the demos, the EPs. But now I'm like, no, buy it,
Yeah.
buy actual physical stuff.
When you're a kid and you don't have a job and shit like that, and you're just hungry for it, where it's like, well, obviously you're going to eat.
Basically, any way you could.
You're going to try and get that shit how you can, like. But now if you've got a bit of disposable income, then you know what it goes into being a band. You know what goes into fucking producing this shit. Like,
exactly. Yeah. So next question. Before the band we're going to talk about, were you in any of the bands before that?
Before I was previously was a band called Men That Follow Hell, which I started with my mate Jamie in Reading, and the idea being that it was kind of like Crowbar sort of stuff.
Love Crowbar.
Drop B, simple, like down kind of like we were jamming
I Hate God.
Not quite like that. I wanted to go a bit more I Hate God, Super Joint Ritual, but they was a little bit more like keep it quite simple, kind of like, you know, riffy, and it kind of was stoner metal because it was very much metal, but it was but I wanted Cathedral kind of in there as well, and Baroness and stuff like that, but it ended up being a little bit more like, say, Orange Goblin or something like that. But that ain't no bad thing. It was cool, it was melodic, it was fun. We ended up just playing Reading like fucking 60 times, and like fuck all else, man. Like just a bit of a shame. Yeah, did one EP called Dope Profits, 4 songs on it. Couldn't tell you much more about that. Before that, we band Blutfaust. That was a special band for me. That was your one where, you know, you're really trying as a kid, you know what I mean? Like that's your one. So started that with a mate of mine. Once I was living in South Africa, and we had the idea to start a band. I come back to England, start the band without me being able to, like, I could play a bit, you know, but and he couldn't sing. So basically I was like learning my shit. He was learning his shit as time went on. We get other people in to jam and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And you're kind of making metally, rocky, kind of thrashy songs. And did our first gigs and all of this kind of shit. And, you know, it's having fun and stuff like that. And then something clicked. We was walking down to a mate's place, and Andy, the singer, just starts singing like John Tardy. But he's like, you know, he's a what a second wedge and just bullshit like that. But it was really, he was doing it really, really well. And he was like, should I just do this? I was like, yeah, do that, but obviously not so much like Tardy or whatever. And that was
so much like John.
That was the start of him learning how to breathe properly, then sing properly. And then I was, at this point, I'd gotten better at guitar, and it was just things were just coming together, and it was more, we wasn't just playing like kind of like rocky kind of thrashy songs or whatever. Now we were fucking going in for it. Now we were really kind of going for it. We did a record which never really saw the light of day, an inspired nod to aesthetic violence. And for real, it's a good record. It's like Torture Killer. It's death and roll. It's straight at it. That's what we became. We became playing death metal chunky riffs, but with a drummer who couldn't and wouldn't blast, but could play, you know, double kicks, and with just a good drummer and lots of like good fills, still maintaining that heavy metal rock element very much. We were very much into kind of the groove side of things. We were just naturally lent to playing that rather than, say, you know, any kind of weird time signatures or anything like that. Did a bit of that because I was always into writing kind of, you know, odd stuff. And yeah, it ended up being good, but that band just petered out in such a terrible way. We were doing that Metal to the Masses down in Brighton, and we'd done really well in one of the thingies, whatever. And then we go back for the final, and they tell us to start playing, like when the band downstairs is still playing. We're like, what the fuck are you going on about? He says, no, you got to start playing. We're going to run late. We're like, oh, for fuck's sake, all right. So we start playing. I should say as well, the drummer couldn't make it, so we literally got my mate, who was Mr. Mushroomhead, Andy Scott. He filled in, and he didn't really like learn the drums like how they were. He just learned to play it like how he would play it, and it ended up just being like the most entertaining car crash like ever. We managed and everything like that, but whereas we played the tightest best set before at the Metal to the Masses thing or whatever, then in the final we just played the fucking weirdest, like strangest set. And it was like, okay, then that was like last thing, and then we took another gig at a pub and did it, and I was so ill on that day, and everything was so shit. If we played 20 minutes, it was the most disastrous thing. We pretty much gave up.
That happens.
Gave up on stage, and the band just died after that. And I was real shame. And then over the years, they tried to get it back, and I'd done a few more demos, and then we had a few more different jams with different people playing drums. It's one of that I reckon in the future I wouldn't be surprised if I found myself resurrecting that, because it was a lot of fun, but I know that I wouldn't, because it was them days. It was them days. It was the boys. It was, you know what I'm saying? But made one cool record. I think it's a cool record. It's you know, no one will ever hear it, whatever. There's some songs on like Reverb Nation or something. I think it's the only way you can like listen to shit. I couldn't find that shit myself, but yeah, that was it. Before that, there weren't really any other bands of note. So
No,
yeah, that was
fair enough. I had my first band was with a bunch of mate of mine who live in Hartcliffe. Well, not all. I think most of them have gone out of Hartcliffe now. But okay, it was a mix of like the Ramones, a little bit of Metallica, and then there was a couple of mates who listened to like all that crappy pop punk garbage.
And
at the time, there was a time where I actually liked it.
You've reminded me of something.
I won't cover this on the channel.
So you've reminded me of something. So yeah, before like
they were called Half Past Dead, by the way.
Oh god.
I was a bassist and I didn't know how to play bass. I was learning how to play bass by learning a song.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go a little bit further. Yeah, so the original bass player in Bluefaust, he was only in the band Bluefaust a little bit. He just didn't fit the band at all. He was a good mate of ours, but he was totally the other. He was he played a gig like wearing a cardigan and shit like that. Like a cardigan. Honestly, he was like fucking wrong, mate.
Like
anyway,
cardigans.
But that's that. Anyway, like good mate, but wasn't right for the band. Previously, me and him had done a ska punk band. Me on bass singing, him on guitar, matey on drums, and there was that was quite a lot of fun. You know, doing that. Prior to that, so that's where I was still playing bass. I hadn't really got good at guitar, because basically at school you start playing guitar, every cunt's playing guitar. So it's just like, fuck, I guess I'll play the bass then. So my very first gig ever was in a band called 4Q.
4Q.
And our logo, man, was 4, a Q, and then with a spliff for the Q. And like made t-shirts at the school and had all of that shit. Like it was the stupidest shit. And then did so yeah, we done this gig where we played, fucking hell, you're gonna love this set, bruv. You're gonna love this.
Brace yourselves, people.
The Hives, Hate to Say I Told You So.
Oh man.
It's
all British stuff here.
No,
Hives are Australian.
Swedish, sorry. 2 Blink 182 songs.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh no.
I know, right?
The Pops and death metal.
I know, right? But then, All Right Now by Free and Layla played that, and there must be another one, and finished with an original, which is one that I wrote, with a mate of mine like years and years ago. It was just, I don't know, yeah, it was cool, and yeah, just did it. I think that song was called "I Don't Know" or something. It was probably then one of those. Do you have a name for the song? Like, no, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
watched
don't
bands
know.
that are like, oh yeah, we got this new song, we haven't named it yet, so
Yeah.
we'll just make up a name.
Yeah.
And it might come up when it's like, yeah, I might look.
Is what they got one for the new record was like an interlude where Tim says, all right, so what's the name of this song? So I says, well, that's a good fucking question. So he types in good fucking question.
There's the song title.
Yeah.
Well, that works. Yeah, because before my band was called Half Past Them, and I told my mate Connor, I haven't seen him in years. Is that I looked at the name of Half Past, is that yeah, that's a film with Steven Seagal.
Yeah, it is.
and,
Yeah.
you know, and but before that we had a different name. Like, man, there was like some 49 or something. No, 99. But we didn't have a proper logo. We had like this, you know, those really like fluffy blankets. I got a blue one there, but ours was green, and we just painted the logo on it.
We had
played it at my mate Connor's house at a barbecue, and we played for him.
Yeah, did exactly the same thing with 4Q, and then
so stupid.
So the Scar band was called Star Trek Destroyers, and we did exactly the same, and a green bed sheet, and yeah.
But all the other guys were like wearing like maybe like whatever band shirt they had, or this is when we like a 5-piece. We still be ended up being a 5-piece because 3 of them played guitar and I played bass. But for that we had a mate on vocals who fell out with mate Connor because he ended up kissing his then girlfriend at the time. Not going to get into it. Stupid crap like that, you know. But yeah, we did. But when we played that show, that it was at my mate's.
Sex and drugs and rock and roll.
But when I played that particular gig, I was wearing a Nile shirt. So you could tell where my taste was going. Yeah. What we were playing, like obviously Ramones, I still like the Ramones. Are still awesome punk, man.
Yeah.
Even they didn't look punk because they had long hair and stuff. But
again, like they weren't doing what we are looking at them as. Like, you know what I mean?
No, they're just doing whatever, and also people call them punk.
Exactly. This is like Steve Harris says, like all of a sudden people calling us new wave of British.
Just saying like rock and roll or something.
Yeah, we're just playing intense. Yeah, exactly. We're just playing aggressive, you know,
aggressive rock and roll.
Heavy rock.
Like it's just heavy rock. But people called it punk.
This thing is that Judas Priest, when they started, they weren't trying to do anything like that, whatever, and like they then get called heavy metal and things, even though they was, you know, kind of before the Sabbath and whatever weren't trying to be heavy metal.
No, they weren't trying to be that at all.
And even it just
happened.
It just happens. Like, where does it begin? Blah blah blah. All of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you listen to them say Painkiller, and it's just like, well, Priest obviously then, you know, embraced being heavy metal, and so then took the genre and then pushed it the way they wanted to. You know what I mean? Like that's.
Yeah, there's like with
Saxon done the same thing, Maiden done the same thing.
All these bands did the same thing.
All done the same thing. You know what I mean? Like no matter what the genre's called, it's got a sound. It's got something. Take that something
people
and just fucking do it.
And just do it. And also is that famous.
Don't try and think about it. Don't try and be these. This is what we were saying about earlier. Like these kids growing up on this kind of music, how do they get to be in like Lorna Shore or these bands that make no sense to me? Like
they make no sense to me, but one of my mates loves Lorna Shore. So.
Yeah. No, I've listened to them and I've broken them down. I try to understand things that I don't understand. So I got a friend who's into. She calls herself a whore for the deathcore, and which I find find that very, very funny. And she's turned me on to some stuff which I've got to admit there's elements to it that I really, really enjoy. And mainly the symphonic.
That's what I liked about Lorna Shore.
Underneath it,
the more orchestra symphonic elements, not the music itself.
They've actually re-released an album, but they've re-released it instrumental, which I think is quite a brave thing to do, because the whole thing about that kind of music is the stupid fucking vocals.
I can't get on with the vocals.
What the
and
fuck?
Also there's just way too many breakdowns, and I can't.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God! But the kids on guitar, they know what the fuck they're doing.
I know what they know. They're great musicians. Yeah. I just
but how did they get
what
there?
They're doing.
How did they get there? How did they think like to play like this sort of cleaning and this sort of cleaning. But then when they go into a heavy riff, it's not like a heavy riff like how we would play a heavy riff.
Just to know, if you like that sort of stuff, that's fine. I personally don't. That's why if you ask me, will you cover it? I won't cover it on the channel. Just end of. I covered death metal, thrash metal, heavy metal, black metal, doom, sludge, folk metal. That's about it.
Yeah, mate.
That's all I cover.
That's those subgenres. They're
all different. But yeah, I got mates who like deathcore and things like that, and like but then they also like death metal as well. So it's like, cool, we've got that in common. But then you listen to that, like, I'm just like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But if you like it, you like it, and that's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste.
You listen to what you want. You listen to what you want.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time trying to change.
I'm not going to change anything. You don't. If I play, let's say,
because the fact is, if you say that to me, I ain't listening to you. If you try and change my mind,
we'll say, if I said, so I'll listen to Massacre. They don't like Massacre. The listeners like, yeah, I don't. Nah, like you said with the bands I like, you don't like. I don't get it. It's like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. Is what it is, bro.
It is what it is.
Is what it is. Yeah. Fact is, because we're in a metal community, like we were saying,
can't like everything.
But you because we know we're on the level or whatever. Obviously, we know each other a bit. But when you're just like meeting someone and you're cool, it's okay to disagree about something.
Yeah, it's so everyone's too scared about it. Oh, yeah. I don't. Oh, I think they're. I'm not gonna.
If I says to you,
I'm not gonna give like whatever. No, I'm not gonna say.
If I comes to you and I says, do you know what, mate? Cryptic Writings was one of the most underrated albums, and it's Fight for Freedom on that album is insane. I say that's the best Megadeth album. You was like, fuck off, mate. No, it's Rust in Peace or whatever. I was like, no, I don't stand for that. I like the weird sort of obscure kind of stuff or whatever. Like that would then be a laugh. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's a straight disagreement about something. Of course. And Cryptic Writings isn't a great album, but it doesn't. No, it doesn't matter.
I got people who like Saint Anger by Metallica.
I know, weird. It's strange, but it's a straight disagreement.
It's a straight disagreement,
but
it
doesn't matter.
Cool. Let's move on to talking about something else. Like I'll have mates who will talk about Interference, like, oh, this album's like, yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah, but then you then talk about like other shit. Regular shit, and you're totally fine to disagree on that because you've already established that it's safe here. It's cool. It's cool. Metal people is cool. You want. Personally, myself, I want a conversation to then suddenly break into fuck, no, stupid, blah blah blah.
So no, that riff's no good. That solo's a bit sloppy or whatever.
No, Minor Threat are really important.
Yeah, and Minor Threat is a great band.
Oh yeah.
I will cover bands like that.
So yeah, that's no man.
But yeah, you can disagree. You don't have to like every single band that song's showing on their channel because you'd be like, because I look at some channels.
I like very few of them. It's the people that I go completely the other way, man. If it was a pie chart, I'm the sliver. They're like. Very little can fucking get me there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like,
it's like
if I'm gonna get off, and
it's like when I showed this earlier. Worm, what drew me to that? It's dark and it's heavy and it's evil. If it's got that dirty guitar tone, be it like really slow death doom or
you got to be able to write
stuff like Crit Worm or something like that. That's what draws me in.
The boys are good. Like there's some great.
Not a lot of brutal death draws me in anymore because
you've heard so much.
I've heard so much of it, and it's just become.
That's where songwriting.
But then I still have my favorite brutal death metal bands. One of them being Cranium.
Oh yeah,
I still like them.
Yeah,
I just don't cover any brutal death metal bands on the channel.
Obviously, I'm friends with like Jason. And
Jason. Like, Jason's a great guy.
Jason mixed Blaspheme first EP.
He did.
Yeah.
And he's a great lad.
But Cranium, I couldn't tell you nothing about them, mate. Like
it started out in Norway by two twin brothers.
Oh, I know.
One sadly passed away, of course.
I saw their set. I saw that the Bristol Death first set. And yeah, I ain't gonna comment on nothing, but they didn't quite see themselves sort of thing. But for that kind of music, that's what it's like slam thing.
There was a time I was really into it because that's all I went to was brutal death slam shows. But then like go back to old school death, and I was like, why did I stop listening to this again?
Mhm.
Then I go back to it and I listen to bands like Undergang and Hyperdontia and
Couldn't say I'm familiar, mate.
Anatomia from Japan, which is basically like Undergang, but more on the, I think more on the Death Doom side, but they're just, it's just, I'll quote Mark G with a C, who's a YouTuber on here. Everyone knows Mark G with a C, and he has a band called Enchantment, is a Death Doom metal band. Been around since the early 90s. He basically, one band he showed on one of his channels, on one of his videos, on one of his videos.
With it.
Bit tired. He said it's dirty, filthy, horrible death metal. And I'm like, when as soon as he said that, I was like, I'm not gonna like this. I heard it, I was like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
I commented on his video saying, your taste is impeccable, whatever he said. I was like, you've just showed us stuff I like.
It's fun, man, because you know, when
you showed me something, I was like,
you first hear something like, I remember hearing Vomitory for the first time.
Vomitory, good.
You know,
Some
like,
good
and
little Swedish stuff.
you can't change those when you hear that, and that sound just clicks with you. And then a recent example, I say recent, this would be some years ago, but like Pace Edge Diver, like listening to hearing that sound and being like, that just clicked with me, like everything, like just love it. But there's songs in there, man. There's movement in there, and that's what's going to have to happen to keep you fucking coming back and listening.
Yeah, it's like when I heard Municipal Waste for the first time. I can't remember when I first heard them, but as soon as I heard like those fast guitar riffs and just
a lot of fun,
I was like,
a lot of fun.
Yes,
a lot of fun.
Love that band.
Yeah.
Love that band, and I got the same back in October when we still had that mini heat wave. So I was like, I can still wear shorts. Should I wear a t-shirt now? Wear a long sleeve might be a bit cool out. No,
first time I saw them, we was
I think I saw Bloodstock 2013 the first time.
It was Underground.
I was already into them before then.
It was fantastic. Yeah, Underground. Hella fucking stage dive and all of this, and afterwards Ryan signed a £10 note. I had
met him a couple of times, great guy.
I had nothing else, so he signed a tenner. Then
yeah.
Another time we saw him at Islington Academy, and fucking Tony Forrester walks up to us outside and he says, "Hey man, do you know the way in?" It's like,
do you know the way in
to your own gig? Yeah, bro. Over there, man. It's like, thanks, dude. Thanks. Like,
yeah, I had that with Dean from Extreme Noise Terror in Newport, like some years back now, like it was in the 2010s. Might have been 2016 or 2017. Went with my girlfriend at the time, and Dean's coming up and says, "Hey, do you know where my merch is?" I was like, over there. I don't think he knew where he was.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I met him again when they played Eradication one year, and me and him had a nice chat. Really cool.
Cool, man.
Really cool, chill dude when he's not, you know, like doing whatever else. Well, I'm not going to say what.
He was encouraged back in the day.
Yeah, and obviously Next Thing was one of the biggest in the grindcore.
But for real, like Earache encouraged, like it was like one of those kind of any press is good press kind of thing. So for him to fucking go off on one was as good as them just kind of playing a blinder.
Well, like when Napalm Death are speaking mind about certain issues, which we have already covered. Which that's why I like Napalm Death, not only because the music's heavy and extreme. It's because what they're talking about, like we mentioned racism and all this stuff, they're all against that, and like I totally get that message.
Of course, man.
Definitely follow that message.
When I was playing punk music, that was very much what I wrote about. Is very it was all very Dead Kennedys inspired, kind of, you know.
Another great band, Dead Kennedys.
Yeah. But writing for Blaspheme, there's no place for it in our music.
No, because that's more.
Yeah, so I don't, you know what I mean.
Darker. Something.
Yeah, we there's and from the very very beginning, in fact, we did actually even say very clearly that absolutely no politics.
No, and speaking of Blaspheme, let's get into it.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Where did the name come from, and who started the band?
Okay, so the name, Striga's the chap who came up with the name.
And Violence and Death. the lyrical things that has on.
Oh, is this
how-
what? Oh,
it's
is
on
this
the-
what the thing is saying? It says, okay, lyrical themes, violence and death. That's true, but it's that's come on, that's lazy.
You got it depends on whoever wrote, but you got more lyrical themes.
Yeah,
Let's get rid of
I
that.
do. Okay, so yeah, so I had been in Bristol for about a year, and I'd been doing like solo bits and bobs. I'd done an EP, like a solo EP of still never know how to describe it. It's kind of like beat poetry, sort of guitar solo-y, sort of reggae, sort of hip hoppy, sort of rock, sort of pop. I'd done something like that to just really kind of get my writing out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now I was ready for a band again. And so I'm looking online. Anyone looking for death metal, thrash metal, whatever.
Black metal, whatever.
I'm just
Are you into extreme music?
In it.
Drum my bun.
And then death metal guitarist needed for band. Boom, check this or whatever. And in typical Striga style, like
he's like, yes,
the advert's very to the point and in like good English, but not quite right kind of thing. So I was like, this motherfucker, I you know what I mean? When someone can't, they're not going to put a flowery sort of we need you to do this and that and we'd love it if you could be the. He was just like, has to be like this, blah, 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 like that. It's like I told my buddy
like this.
I told my buddy at the time, I was just like, yo, I'm gonna meet up with this European guy who's a drummer, whatever, and he seems like he's metal, you know what I'm saying? And sure enough, yeah. So we have a jam, and it was weird because I was bringing too many. I didn't know what style to bring to the table, and it was one of those where only like a few riffs out of that survived into something. And the more we kind of played together, the more I then sort of got it. I sort of got kind of like what makes him tick, and yeah, it started working, but it was trying to write very intense stuff, and
as death and black metal usually
very
intense.
It is, but also I wanted something. It's challenging, but I also a lot of discord and kind of stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, how we were initially going to be a little bit more kind of conceptual. I sort of like you listen to some of those older tunes, and it is, you know what I mean, like where the hell are we going kind of thing. But in my mind, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
So yeah, that was got the name Blaspheme. There really wasn't any talk about any other name really. Striga had made a list. I never saw the list because he said the one on the top of the list, Blaspheme, like that, and explains, you know, with a F.
Enough,
not with a P.
Not with a P.
It's European spelling, man.
Blaspheme.
Blaspheme.
That makes sense. I was wondering why there was an F.
Yeah.
Instead of the usual way.
The thing about it is like we are, for all intents and purposes, a European band, not a British band. We don't identify as a British band. It's half of the band. Like, yes, I am British in that I was the first one of my family born over here, but all of my family aren't. I'm never identified as British or anything like that. Love British heavy metal, of course, anything like that. But I don't have anything within me that wants to put that. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
And Striga, obviously, you know, being from Europe. Conrad then at some point is in the band, whatever. We had a bit of a European kind of thing. Adam's played in so many different sort of bands, whatever. And you know what I'm saying? So we got this. We're coming at it from a different perspective from where we are, you know?
Exactly.
And we're just trying to make something interesting and a bit fresh. And this is where Jake just really he really took to it, because for him this was a chance to write and go just really take it somewhere. So
because that was the lineup I saw the first time was him on vocals and bass.
Yes.
You on guitar and string on drums.
Yes. That's right. So prior to that, there had been Harry Bryan had joined us for a couple of jams playing bass. It's kind of like a noisecore, kind of like you know what I'm saying, like really,
yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah. He does some crazy shit with some crazy bands and does some crazy tours and stuff like that. But yeah, like I say, a couple of jams, and he's off doing other tours and things like that. and Metal comes in, and so fucking hell.
Good friend of ours, by the way. No longer in, but well, we keep him alive.
Absolutely. What's funny is, I don't know if I've with Jake, yeah, I'd met him years and years back.
Yeah, I met him years back.
At Bloodstock, because he walks past, and of course he had his Dimebag tattoo, and my mate calls him and calls me, because of course I got that one,
yeah.
And so he gets us to chat, and we chat, and Jake's like, oh, I'm part of band Ventflow. I says, the fuck you, man? I said, I saw them not too long ago. They just got one guitar player, like. He's like, nah, just literally joined. They want to, you know, fatten out their sound. And so he plays the. I was like, shit, man, they play like Pantera. He's like, yeah, he's got the. He played
Pantera fan.
Yeah,
Fear Factory.
Oh, Pantera, big time. But he played the.
Yeah, a lot of things, I know that.
Yeah, so he played the, you know, the lightning bolt, that Dean from Hell, whatever the fuck. I had the Sunburst, the Far Beyond Driven one.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, if you look at my tattoo of the Dimebag crest, he actually played that guitar, and I played that guitar, and his tattoo of this is why we met, which is why I got that tribute one, but with Jake's face instead of Dime's face, for that. So we met because that tattoo. Yeah, we chat, and then we don't learn each other's names. Off we go. Then remember I told you about that Men Are Full of Hell. Basically, goes up to Reading. Me and Jamie were, you know, having a bit of a jam. We drive down McDonald's, and Jake's there with two of the guys who used to be in Ventflow. And so we get chatting again, and everything's all chill and like that. Don't learn each other's names. Off he goes. Off we go. And then years later, I'm in Bristol starting this band, and Strigger's like, this guy Metal, he's going to sing for us. Fine by me, mate. That's cool. That's all good, man. Apparently, this guy can really sing. He sings like low death metal style.
Body Harvest.
We're gonna try black metal, kind of black death metal with death vocals over. Let's see what happens. And sure enough, then in he walks. Boom! Like that moment, like
it's like, what?
Eyes.
I remember you. Just don't know your name. Like.
It was awesome, man. It was
instant, like, so wait a minute,
it was always fucking well meant to happen. It was always meant to happen. And then we never got, we you know, we're buddies and everything, but we only got close after we did a first UK little weekender with Trivax and Shadow Flag. And when we got back, we were both knackered and everything like that, but we still wanted to hang out. And we did. And then from that, just close as anything. And then the song started, it got interesting with it, and lyrically wanted to push himself, vocally wanted to push himself, and what happened was we recorded the record, we recorded the EP very quickly, and then recorded the record, and the sound wasn't quite good enough for whatever reason. There was problems with drum mics, things like that. Basically, we ended up recording the record twice, which is why Iniquity took a long time to get out, and it was a ball ache, because at some point something very important went wrong, not down to us, it was always just fuck, why, what the fuck, and we just kept trying to salvage the record, and eventually, thank goodness. But in that time, Jake lost all that weight.
Yeah, he did really well.
So well. And his frame changed, his breathing got better, he could then start singing high. So then he's like, bruv, I need to redo all the fucking vocals so he can redo them low and high. Like, so it just, what the shit? And in that time, he's then, because playing bass was new to him, and the bass it was a bass what my buddy had given to me, and I'd given them to another mate, and then eventually got back in order to get it had done the rounds. And
there's a five-string
Jackson.
It's like a Sunburst sort of color.
So the singer from Bluefaust. Yes, Sunburst. Yeah, singer from Bluefaust. That was his bass.
That was okay. That makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, he wasn't the bass player in Bluefaust, but that was his bass. So that was. That was one of his many bases.
It's like I wasn't the bassist in this band, but here's my bass.
Quite a good collection,
Right,
man.
got it.
For that. So it took him a while to learn that instrument, and then changing the low string to F sharp, and then like setting it up. But then we eventually, you know, he got it. He was, by the end, like he was just like, do you know what? I'm finally figuring this instrument out. Playing 8-string as well helped him to kind of get to that. So towards the end of his time in Blaspheme, he was really on top of like where he wanted to go, writing things, how he wanted to, play things. Like we were really, hitting our stride a lot with that. But yeah, his time in the band was very much, he very much wanted it to be full on.
Yeah.
Nothing but intense.
Intense.
Very intense.
Black and death.
And
not just intense. Extreme music in general.
We wanted it as well to be, and this is where we're quite different now these days. It's a very different band these days, but
a lot different from what it was when
fucking totally different.
But when I first saw
it is what it is. Again, if we tried to keep doing what we started doing, it wouldn't work. So
that's why bands always change their
exactly. Jake
approach.
All of a sudden, I'm the singer, and I cannot sing like Jake. So I'm not gonna sing like Jake. So we need to change our sound so I can sing like how I'm gonna sing. And then we do that, and then you know what I'm saying. So we build up, and then I get better at singing. Now I can play like this. That's how I went for that. But we wanted it always, me and him, to be the show League of Gentlemen. You familiar?
I'm familiar with League of
So
anyone outside of the UK, you might not know.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So it is the thing about that show. Yeah, they deliberately said, these boys. They said when they started writing it, we want 50% of people to get it, 50% of people to not get it, because the 50% of people who do get it, they're lifers and they fucking get it. The 50% of people who don't get it, we didn't want you anyway. We're not playing down the middle. We're not playing down the middle on this one. We're going this way. And you're either either in it or not. So Blaspheme was just like,
this is in your face.
Yeah. Those early shows where we didn't say anything, where there were fucking disturbing samples going on in between songs. When it was oppressive. And then when we're playing the songs, we're just literally just losing our mind, because it had to be. We were all in very, very bad places in our life at different times in those early days. If it was me, then it was Strigger, then Jake, losing houses, breaking up relationships, all this kind of shit. Jobs,
all that stuff that happens, and
all of that shit happened to all of us very, very quickly during this time, during tours where, you know what I'm saying, that it was just everything was very much very difficult and full on and stuff. These days, my goodness, these days it is completely the opposite. Like these days we are in control of things and like able to manage and negotiate like properly or whatever. It was very much like back in them days, it was very much like foot to the fucking floor and fucking go. And this is it, because it's what we needed to get out of ourselves. There was a pain.
Metal's a good outlet for that.
Exactly.
There's a good outlet.
So there you go. That's the early stuff of of Blaspheme. And like I said, this record took a while to do, but in doing so, he then was able to sing better. We then went to a better studio to record the drums better. It then gave us a chance to then find Winter, who were then able to quickly fix the mistakes that have been made previously and mix it all and everything like that. So at the end, then all of a sudden it's like, oh fucking hell, all right, now we got something. Now we really got something. It's a heavy record. It is heavy. You're fucking listening to something when you put that shit on. Again, we're not playing it down the middle. We're doing this.
It's like
you're either gonna like it or just fuck off.
I mean,
and not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
Just go listen to whatever you're going to listen to.
You like.
We're doing this. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I heard you first, I thought, well, if it sounds this sick live, it's going to sound sick on the release. And one of the shows I was just remembering this show then. I think it was in Cheltenham. it was some pub. It was downstairs. It was you guys, Shadow Flag, and the Scottish.
That's right. I remember that show.
It was a small room. You couldn't get a mosh pit going in there because it was
so small.
It was so small. Smaller than the Griffin.
Yeah, I remember that show. That
was when me and my girlfriend at that time.
That show was one of the most cathartic shows for me that I've ever played in my life. That show, my wife had just she'd been going through a very, very tough time. And she just had it. We just had a really, really tough time, which I won't elaborate on. But suffice to say that I'd driven to because we was going up Gloucester sort of way. I'd taken her to her sister's on the way up, and I was going to go do the gig, come back, go up on the way back. And when I got to the gig, I had a lot of shit like pent up. You know what I'm saying? Like anger at the system, anger at the world. You know what I'm saying? Like. And I just let it out. And I remember having just a real fucking gig. I remember like afterwards, like the boys being like, yes, mate, like that was it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I had nothing to lose. I felt like at that gig, you know what I'm saying? Like that was
a good night.
It was cool. It was it was a good one. But again, like why would you try and put a fucking gig on there?
It's just right, but
did they call it the Cellar? Is that what it was called?
I don't know what the pub was called. I just remember my ex girlfriend at the time saying, Ascaris is playing this pub. Let's go. Goes I thought, love the band, and then it's like, oh, Shadow Flag, oh, Blaspheme. They don't have one familiar face.
That's true. Yeah, nice.
Because but this is metal. Because every time going back to Jake going metal, he'd be like. Oi, mate.
Oi, mate.
He's like, and he always like, instead of going, effing how we go, here now.
I find myself all day walking around here now.
That's how I like. That's what I like to remember him just saying.
I love
really silly things.
Yeah, and I'm like, here he is.
Yeah. He's like, you're right, Bristow. It's like, you're just a cheery guy.
Oh, mate.
But when he was on stage, he was just like, come on.
Yeah.
Like in Body Harvest, you'd be like, come on, let me hear you. And just literally just start shredding.
Oh, yeah. So Body Harvest was, of course, like, this is, so people who knows Jake, seeing him in Blaspheme, I think, I never know because I
saw him Hate Mechanism the first time.
I never really would speak with people to try and understand, like, whether they knew, because my situation back in them times as well was like, I didn't deal well with people. I wasn't dealing well with crowds and stuff like that. I didn't like the scene. I liked the music and stuff, but I couldn't ingratiate myself. I couldn't ingratiate myself. I
can relate to that.
And I things have changed in the last 6 years or so, but yeah, it was one of these. So people seeing Jake in Blaspheme are seeing a very different Jake to what they're used to seeing in Body Harvest.
Yeah,
where come on, you can't fucking
bang your hands, gonna pet this,
all of this kind of thing where he's impossible not to like. Is he looks bigger than fucking anything, which of course still Blaspheme kind of stuff.
Looks
when he's doing, he's fucking big, but in between the songs, you know what I'm saying, you ain't getting.
Yeah, in Blaspheme it's just
you ain't getting Jake. No, you
won't.
Blaspheme
is whoever he went under.
Yeah, Metal was what he was.
What Metal is what he went under.
Yeah. No, he
But in Blaspheme
it was
no.
That was the name. Yeah,
I thought it had a different name.
No, it made sense because it made sense because of the cerebral nature of his lyrics and stuff like that. I was totally okay with him using that because it is like
that is
testing your metal, all this kind of stuff makes sense for his role within Blaspheme for sure. Yeah, man. No, it was very, very intense. A lot of fun. A lot of fun, but also at the same time like painful. In the way that you suffer for your art, kind of thing. I felt it was suitable. We felt it was suitable for the music we was playing. The way that I felt is exactly how it translated across. Like I wasn't happy-go-lucky off stage and able to play that dark, horrible music.
No.
I was in a dark, horrible place playing dark, horrible music. that's not to say I'm in a good place now. Like
No.
I'm in a terrible place now. But the songs that I'm writing aren't like that anymore.
No.
Because I'm not playing. Big thing was playing the Telecaster, either playing the Strat or the Telly. Playing a single coil guitar, playing black metal is weird. So you got to make it like, and that those guitars are unforgiving, man. Like you make a mistake, the whole fucking world knows about that. Like, it's very, very, very clean stuff. So it was very demanding for me, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Being the only guitarist, really having all of that pressure on me, kind of stuff like that. But then, yeah, then I needed, like I said, needing to have to sing, and then there we go. Yeah, it's easier to find another guitar player and teach him my shit rather than find another singer and make it right when I know that I can do it how I need to do it. And like I said, can't do it like Jake.
No,
can't try. So I sing.
So everyone's
sing
vocals are different.
Yeah. So this is the thing. We brought back a song. We brought the final song on the album, Iniquity and Salvation. Redditus. Was it Redditus Internation Ignominium? I think it's called. I always get them. I always get the thingies. The titles mixed up.
Get that up.
It might be, Redditus Ignominium Internation.
That's the one.
We brought that back for a couple of shows, and it's one where he was most proud of his vocals on that. If anyone hasn't listened to that record or anything, I would listen to that.
Yeah, check it out.
If you want to hear the songs that Jake was most proud of his vocals, it's Avalof's Gift and Redditus.
Yeah, I'll
the final
link
two.
it down below in the
them two especially, vocals wise, he was incredibly proud of. And yeah, it was one where obviously I can't do what he's doing because he goes so low and then builds it to so high and stuff. I can't do that low shit. Just not my register is, but I can sing. So I can sing low. I can't growl low, whatever, but so it's like, okay, I never wanted to do so much clean singing or something, but it's not like I clean sang everything. But when Jake's doing low stuff, that's what I have to do because I can't match the guttural, so I just actually have to sing it low. But I'm okay, fortunately, doing that. But it's not so. Again, it's just like it's a totally different dynamic for the song. But it's how I have to do it.
Mate, that does make quite a bit of sense.
Yeah,
because in my band, you never see my business cards in my videos, but that's my band Aventel, which I talk about all the time on my channel, and Black City Records, which I have that poster right there, which you play with Devastator and Burial.
Fun gig. That was a fun.
That was a fun gig.
Fun gig, and then we did at the end we all did Satan My Master, the Bathory song, with Nefarious Dusk. So
Nefarious Dusk,
Matey from Mandraka on guitar.
Yep.
And was it Tom from Devastator?
I've been Tom from Devastator
on vocals. I was on other vocals.
Tom from Devastator would have been on that.
That's it. That was that was proper. That was proper fun. That was good.
That was a good night. The 1 year anniversary of the shop being open. Black City Records. If you're gonna travel down to Bristol, wherever you're from,
always worth
visit that shop.
Yeah,
visit that shop.
One of my very favorite places in Bristol.
It's a great place.
Yeah,
I always go there. And I've bought too much now.
Yeah,
I bought way too
much. I have. He's not you, Dave. You're not getting fucking none more of my money, mate.
And of course, talking about Jake.
Yes,
Cyber Void
EP.
Great band.
Really, really good. And big shout out to Heather and that.
No band pitch. Yeah, Heather on vocals.
Yeah.
Jake guitar, bass,
Will
spoken words. And Will, of course, was also in Body Harvest.
Yeah, man. Nah, really good. Really, really good shit.
But yeah, Jake is missed.
Of course.
Have you ever had a pleasure to know who he was?
The world knew
as a person? Personally.
Yeah, the world knew him as metal, but we were fortunate enough
to know him as Jake.
And the thing with me, so obviously not drinking.
He's a lovely human being.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
the loveliest, the loveliest. Like we was, when I don't exaggerate when I say we was the very, very best friends, because I don't drink alcohol, so I don't like go out, and it meant that when we was touring, uh I wouldn't be drinking. Jake would always want to drive because he couldn't be a passenger. I just hated it. So he'd drive, and I'd be, you know, able to just be we got to know each other sober. And that was really important, and we got to know each other over long periods of time, driving up and down the country, like, and getting really tight on stage and then being tight off stage is it's a real deal. And him being, obviously he lived down the road for a little bit here, but yeah. Then he was just further up the hill a little bit, but when he was close, like, he was the first person I saw on the day that my eldest daughter was born, and he played me the first mix of Cyber Void instrumental. He said, like, yeah, no one's heard this before.
No one's heard this yet. Not the other guys.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, he'd got it from Winter, like that day or whatever, and he played it to me. You know, we was always around each other's places. It was, if we weren't like texting, we was always on the phone. It was like, he and I found each other for a reason, the way we did. And he was a very important part of my life. Losing him caused me to spiral in a way that has led to devastating consequences for me and my family. And I come unhinged when I lost my best friend like that. And it just ain't fair.
It's not fair, really.
It ain't fucking fair.
It's not fair. But yeah.
But there's music recorded of him. There's video of him.
There's video of him.
There's people's memories of him.
I got videos of him on the channel. I'll put those in the description.
I've done. People are going to be wearing T-shirts of him, of his band.
Of course, we had a memorial show for him December. So, which is really good. Yeah, I don't want to, because I'll end up getting too emotional. But
it's a tricky
he's
one.
Missed. He's missed a lot. I'm happy that I got to know him as a person.
Yeah,
got to see his bands.
Yeah,
got to hang out with him, not just at gigs, but when he lived down the road a bit.
Yeah,
hang out with him there.
He was
you know, just
there's so many firsts as well. Like my cat recently he died like last week, which is another fucking shit one. But
losing a pet as well.
Jake was the first other human that Toby met as well, and I remember because he was wearing his big fucking boots, and the cat was so small in comparison to his
boots.
Yeah, to his boots there. Like I said, like he was so scared of children and stuff like that, and like not scared of children, but scared of himself with children, like kind of thing. Like I was just like, just shut up, bruv. Just hold my fucking child, man. So you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you're doing it right. All you got to do is just hold it, yeah, and take pictures of
hold my child.
took a few pictures of him like holding Daisy or whatever, and you can see him like he's really, and then he kind of gets it, and then he kind of looks up or whatever, and he's got this fucking just smile. I showed his mum and dad those pictures, and they'd never seen him before. And Joe, his mum, says, like, she was just looking at the pictures like, I've never seen him look like that. Like, there he is holding Daisy like that. And it's like, that moment for me is everything. Like, me and him built my girl's bed together. You know, and the gate outside my house, the fence outside my house, me and him put that up together. And you know what I'm saying? Like, all this very real shit, this very everyday shit, this very real stuff that surrounds me, and it is courtesy of him. And it's courtesy of his good heart, and not ever He would just want to help you. He would just. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, take time out of his
he
day and
didn't
help you out.
He didn't ever not do that. So, and if he needed to not do that, you'd know, mate, I can't. I'm this, that, and the other. Every straight down the line, but at the same time, he's never gonna fuck you around. He's just, it is what it is, and he'll always go out of his way. And the amount of times, like, even like something a fuse would go in the house or whatever, and like, just obviously ring Jake. Why would you bother going through the letting agents to get a thing, whatever?
No,
ring Jake, and it like
get metal about.
He explained everything to me so clearly on the phone, and then I did it all, whatever. And he's like, "Oh, I'll just pop round anyway." Yeah, like I'd done it.
What was the point? Yeah,
but then he comes around anyway to make sure it's all good, and he's explaining everything like this. He said,
"That's good. That's
honestly,
good. Right, I'm going now."
Yeah,
great.
Endless fucking cups of coffee and bongs and stuff.
Here's some coffee.
Great fucking time.
The coffee, that's the other thing. But
just
me, like, that's coffee, man.
Had a good fucking time with that buddy, and I'm gonna have more good times with him at another point.
Yeah, and obviously mention Godflesh.
Yeah,
me and him saw last, and I will cherish his memory for the rest of my life. Trying not to be emotional.
Emotional.
We watched
Yo, internet, real men cry.
Yeah, if someone says they don't, you're an idiot. They played all that at Damnation. We went to Damnation last year and saw Godflesh play all Street Cleaner. What a set that was. And it was just me and him stood together watching Godflesh.
See, I've got this
watching that together, and that is a memory I will cherish the rest of my life.
And so you should. We went down to the last bit of the last day of Arctangent just to watch Godflesh.
Just to watch Godflesh.
So me and him were stood there.
What year was
watching Godflesh just the other year.
Last year.
And so I've had the exact same moment with it. And would you like to know something interesting? When we was putting together, we wanted to do like a little covers EP. So each of us suggested like a cover to what we was gonna cover and do. Strigger had suggested a Bathory one. I wanted to do Iron Maiden by Iron Maiden, and Jake suggested Christbait Rising. And
that's the first time I ever bought Godflesh.
And do you know what? It was the one that got over with us all the most. Now, we never actually got round to doing these covers, but the idea of Christbait Rising was actually the most attractive to all of us. And he was worried that Strigger wouldn't like because of the just sporadic drums.
the drums are what,
but
I wouldn't say all over the place, but they're a bit sporadic.
But then
it's not an actual drums, it's a drum machine.
Just a drum machine. But then Strigger had seen the live one and said there was something in that he could work off of and do that. He was actually like, dude, for real, we were Blaspheme were gonna do Christbait Rising as a cover, and of course it's a very loose guitar song. So when I watched him play it, I understood
guitar.
It is. But Jake was he would explain how the dude floats over the top of the song and stuff. And when I saw him live and then actually getting to play it, like it clicked for me. And fantastic stuff.
I wanted to do something like Godflesh with metal at some point, but I don't think I might have mentioned it once to him, but nothing came of it.
Well, this is what's a shame about the Nile stuff, is that we were so pumped on it. And obviously we done the 2 demos, what I played at his birthday show, which obviously was also a memorial show. But if I'm honest, I'm going to be celebrating his birthday. I'm about celebrating his life. So about this memorial, stuff and things like that. People got to remember it's very close to his birthday, it's more worth celebrating the man's birthday.
That's what we're gonna do.
So
in December.
But one
of our favorite pubs in the world.
My point is that it needs to be done late January.
Well, yeah.
I'm saying
his birthday is.
Yeah, yeah, that's my thing. And I don't, you know, I'm not rubbing no feathers up like the wrong way by saying this, but that's just my feelings.
That's your
feelings on the thing. But anyway, all I'm saying is that I'm talking about his birthday show last year
Last year
because it was on the 28th.
Yeah.
And I played the 2 tunes. And we were so excited because we'd said we're both going to be so busy. Let's link back up after I've come back from Europe and he's come back from down near Brighton where he was recording.
Yeah.
And it was then I got back, he got back, and it was that week.
Sucks.
And we was talking, we knew what we was going to do. We got a third demo going, and I'd said to him, like, yeah, like when the penultimate time I saw him, like one of the last times I saw him, I said, you know what? I was in the kitchen, I said, you know what, that riff I come up with was too basic. It's too simple. And I was like, oh, no, man, I liked it. And I was just like, okay, we'll use it a little bit, and then we got to break it up. We got to make this weird. We got to make
it weird.
We started talking about it and stuff, and the song was like, they was going to come. Then we had this idea. Okay, so in Thorns versus Emperor, the song, fuck, the one with the.
Oh yeah.
That
weird thing.
That we listened to that over and over and over again, and we wanted to do something like that. And that's where the second Niall song kind of came in. We were testing the waters with that. But we were still, we wanted to do a song what went from the lowest note to the highest note. And we had all these conceptual ideas that we really wanted to, wanted to still kind of, still sort of do. We was very excited about it. It was yeah, it's a real fucking shame. But got them 2 tunes. I listened to them the other day, and they were mastered by Winter, his producer who did the Blaspheme album, did the Cyber Void, everything like that. Keep it in the family, innit?
Keep it in the family. Very much keep it in the family,
and people who I'll send them to people who I deem worthy.
So I deem you worthy. No, not so much you. Sorry.
Yeah, if you ain't heard him, you ain't worthy.
Not you be not worthy. So do you have a horn of mead? No, get out. But yeah, he lives on in all the music he's put out. Obviously, like Hate Mechanism, using Marry Him for a bit, which was a band back in the day that I remember. The Body Harvest, but before that it was called Viral, and then it was Body Harvest, and then it was Blaspheme, and he did an industrial metal project, and I can't remember what it's called now, but it was just him.
Oh, that became Cybervoid.
Yeah, that was basically
pre-Cybervoid.
Yeah,
right. It was that was a few instrumentals. Of that became.
Yeah, one that he did like a one-man thing, which was like
that was his old. He was
sort of Godflesh and early Fear Factory.
He at that point he was really umming and ahhing about, do I push forward as a solo thing and just have like kind of drum machine stuff, or do I create a band out of it? For that, and he was really and I think it was meeting Heather and hearing her sing and stuff like that really made him
excellent vocalist.
Yeah, I think at that point, maybe he made the decision then to like kind of go for it with a band, but that definitely cemented it.
Yeah, I got.
That's when the solo project definitely became.
Yeah, I got footage. One bit of footage of on my channel, Cyberboy playing the Griffins, and that's going to be in the description below. So
yeah, see,
all those are in there.
We was playing somewhere when they was doing that, so I couldn't. Yeah, fucking yeah.
It was a great shit. That's the only time I saw him.
I saw him at where the fuck was that? At Rough Trade.
Oh, Rough Trade.
Yeah, saw him down there.
Yeah, I saw him, Griff. I didn't see him anytime after that.
Yeah.
Might been too busy or skin. But yeah, Metal's gonna be missed. He's gonna be loved. We're gonna pot. Yeah,
and his energy's still
still there.
Still around. Yeah.
When you say Kinel, he's there going, So like he's doing the same thing, like same canal at us because we're seeing his thing, and he's left behind a massive legacy.
I still talk to him. Like it's not a he talks back. It's okay. I'm done being sad with it because and he's sad for it. He's been waiting for me to be done being sad.
Yeah, and there's a framed picture of him at Black City Records.
Of course.
Right there, and above him would be Lemmy. No, I got no.
So, you know, a good friend.
Good friend.
A very good friend. But let's you know, if we're talking in terms of metal or whatever, a real figure.
A real figure in the metal.
You know, and I'm very pleased that he was able to stretch his wings with Blaspheme. Do that. And after, you know, he left and then we carried on as a two-piece. And then after that, Adam Westlake joined on bass.
Silent Wait now amputated.
Yes. Adam fucking. I mean, it's easier to. It's easier to list the bands what Adam hasn't played in. I think.
It's like what bands have he always put nothing.
Yeah, is it a band? Yeah, he's played in it. Yeah,
it's like this band because
I fucking love having him. He's a safe pair of hands. Is our fucking
Adam.
Yeah. He truthfully is. And the greatest thing is like he's safe on stage. I don't need to worry about him. Off stage, you're wondering, where's Adam? Where's that? Why are you looking over there, mate? The bar is there. He is always going to be there. It's fantastic.
It's like, where's Adam? It's like,
he's at the bar. Of course, he's at the bar.
Is that him at the bar? Of course
it fucking is.
It is. What else is Adam gonna be?
This is fantastic. No, honestly.
So where's he gone now? He's gone to a takeaway. Of course he has.
And unbelievable, musically competent, like to the point that in a new tune, if we're bringing something together, it might be something like, is that the 5 to the 4 or the 4? That's it. Everything else, mate. I'll be showing the tune, and then we'll have a little run through, and all of a sudden he's joined in, he's done it. He's all over it. Knows his instrument very, very well. So
he does.
And now we've got a young'un in the band, goes by the name Parasites, is Ollie Groves, who is a funny one because a few years ago we wanted to break that kid's teeth, mate. Like he was acting the fool at gigs. Him and his little gobshite mates coming like getting
you always get those
getting
gigs though, don't you?
Yeah, getting too pissed up coming up. But the problem is, mate, don't be coming up being at the front, falling into the band, stepping on pedals.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. Don't do
like
that.
So he's had his shins kicked by me quite a few times at those gigs and stuff like that. I don't hold back when people start fucking around with that. So you know, acting the fool, but also acting the fool outside by my old car, which was nice and expensive and things like that. And I started to get a little bit upset about it. Anyway, a few months later, I'm in Black City, and he comes over and he says, "Listen, I want to apologize about this or whatever." And I says, "That's good of you, mate. That's good of you to say that." And I said, "Listen, mate," I says, "The reason why we were pissed off at you is because you're trying to make it in this. You've got a band, right?" He's like, yeah, I'm just a solo band kind of thing. I said, "How's anyone going to fuck with you if you're that kiddie who's been fucking up gigs and that like that?" Penny drops. And he stops drinking, like only starts being sensible, starts being good, starts writing. Then starts messaging me saying, "Hey dude, can you have a listen to these tunes?" Of course I can, mate. Have a little listen, get to talking about it, get to talking about music, all sorts of things. Then it gets to the point then where because my second girl was born, I was then going to need to take a step back from the band. And in doing so, needed someone to step up and do that. So Conrad was going to sing and play guitar, only he couldn't on account of not being able to.
There's those you can, and there's some that can.
And there's Conrad. And there's
I'm just saying those. Like, I'm not just singling him out, but there's a lot of those you can. I know you are because you're in a band with him.
I love that kid. I got a lot of fucking time for him.
No, he's a good lad.
But then then Ollie, he can. He's got a good voice, and he learned the songs very quickly. And so yeah, we asked him to join a band for that, so that I could then just be on vocals. The ideal being that they'd play gigs. If I'm able to make a gig, I'll make a gig and I'll sing. Because I'm not taking the, you know what I'm saying, I'm stepping on, I'm singing, no big deal. I've always taken the thing. I mean, as it happened, like following, like my wife and I split, is then well, I've got time for the band a bit more now. And Conrad was having lots of new life stuff happening, new place, new job, yada yada. He doesn't have time for the band no more. I prefer singing and playing guitar. Well, it makes perfect sense that then you know, I jump back on the guitar, and I do feel much more comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I remember seeing you as a 5-piece with Mr. Fire, which was a great show.
It was a good show.
I thought, Mr. Fire in Bristol on a Monday.
I know.
Why not?
Yeah, fucking hey, mate. We were so very, very, when Steph messaged us to asking about that, like because she had offered us something quite tasty before, but we was double booked. Well, I say we was double booked. Adam was double booked.
Adam, he's watching this, damn it.
You gotta book
naughty boy.
You gotta book that guy in advance. He's in high demand, man. Yeah, he's like he's in.
Like I said, my silent way can amputate it. Well, amputate it more. My silent way, I think, done with live shows now.
Yeah, and they don't know what they're up to. I don't
know. I don't think know what, because we had Gareth from amputated playing with us and Aventel for a couple of shows.
Oh right, yeah, fair enough. So I didn't know that. No, that's good. No, they're amputated are getting busy again.
They get busy doing UK shows, European shows,
which is fantastic. But it means you got to book your own bassist.
But I mean, like, hey, Adam, can you do this song? Well, it's like, no.
Plus, we all work fucking like we all work ridiculous like fucking hours and stuff like that. Like we all graft. So this is why when you got to do the band, you got to do it. You know, do it right. Make sure it's good. Right now, at the minute, things is all right. So we're playing. We got a show at the Dev.
London.
Yep, up in Camden. That's on the 9th.
Still haven't been to that place yet.
And apparently they've like redone the stage or whatever. I like the Dev. Yeah, I like the Dev. Some good gigs there.
Yeah, I still haven't been to that place. I've been to obviously Underworld, Blackheart, Electric Ballroom, because I went in there when it was UK Death Fest last year. Or just pretty much 3 days of just non-stop death metal, black metal, thrash metal. I was like, this is what I like. This is what I like in it. Because I was meant to play Warhorns, the summer one, because we played the winter one, Aventel, because our first show we did last year. We were meant to play the summer one, but none of us could meet up. So we're just like, we could play it next year, and they put us for next year. So I was like, okay, now I can actually go see Autopsy, because that was one of the main bands I wanted to see was Autopsy and Mortar Skull and Massacre. Now I've seen Demolition Man before, so in the Netherlands 2017. I've seen Grave before as well. So it's good to have that poster. Even though I was a young kid when all these shows happened. These are European dates, because David gave me this. He got it from when he saw him in London back in the day.
It's good, man.
I don't know what year that was, 92.
Isn't that good? Yeah, with Massacre with Terry Butler and Steve Swanson, who, of course, both of those guys ended up in 6 Feet Under many years later.
Oh, of course they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, starting been to Dev, well, I'm going to go to them. And I was like, oh, damn, where this place is in Camden.
Kind of where everything is, isn't it? That you just sort of wander around and find it, man.
If I see a bunch of metalheads outside of this place called the Dev, I'm like, there we go, there's the Dev.
I don't have a fucking clue when it comes to London.
Well, I know where the Camden Market is. I just got to walk a bit further up from Electric Ballroom, and it's right there.
I mean, I don't.
Or where I haven't been there in a while.
I mean, sorry, London. Don't know you. Don't want to know.
You got underground death metal gigs, I'll be there.
Yeah,
underground death and black metal.
Of course.
And on that death black metal note, and lots of interesting conversations in metal, which obviously it's wide.
Yeah, man. I don't
What
know if this has been a long chat like ordinary.
I don't.
Like,
I'll
I don't know if this is.
I'll see if it's like 2-3 hours long, because that was what I did with Camley. It was like a 3-hour blinking chat.
Oh well, listen, man. If someone's willing to look at our handsome faces and
Yeah, someone looks at my face like,
hear our dulcet tones,
it's like
then
it's like
then
hanging
thank
on
you.
my every word.
But yeah.
But
so,
on that note, thank
cool.
you for
Nah,
coming
man,
into the chat.
it's all good, man. Let me just say something to camera. Where's my camera? Is it? That's
There's the camera.
The one. All right. Yeah. Yeah. No. All I'm
Anything you
saying
want
is
to say?
well, no, this is the thing. See, I can't announce anything record-wise,
Not record-wise, but
as we're still
show-wise.
finishing that off. Out. But what I can say, yes, last show of the year on December 9th at the Dev in Camden, and hopefully next year looking at doing some festivals and some tours. But we'll wait and see on that.
See what happens.
We got some things cooking with two luscious little UK bands who I know you like, who really like happening on the scene. So hopefully when things can, if the three of us our bands can figure something out, I think we got some special.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think we got some special stuff next year along with the new record next year. And we're already busy writing other stuff at the minute.
So there's new stuff coming.
Always, yeah.
Just can't say anything.
Can't say nothing.
Can't say what it
in a
is.
minute. All I say is we're still kicking about. We're still going to be playing. There's still merch to be bought. You know,
all in the description below, so you can find that much.
Yeah, no fun. I mean, to be fair, a lot of it will be sold out actually.
Well, you'll get more soon.
Yeah, I don't know how to update the thing. I don't know.
I don't know either. I got a
Bandcamp.
I don't know how to update it.
But yeah, all that shit. All
confusing stuff. Let's leave it.
Yeah, but yeah. Otherwise, we'll basically be seeing a lot of you in the new year.
So if you haven't seen Blaspheme yet, and you are in London at that time, I won't be because I'm busy that day doing something else. So I won't go and make it. Just to let you know now.
I'm all right with that.
He says that.
I'm gonna be crying. Fucking.
Where's he gone?
Just saying it for the internet.
So I'm like, I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, that's good enough, mate.
Be there, like you just imagine me there with just well, if I still did corpse paint, but I think I only got the black paint to do. But I think I'll just stick with that if I was going to join a black metal band.
I'll tell you what I'll do, mate. I'll just picture you as you are now. There you go with your Cavalera shirt.
Cavalera
shirt. You go. That's all
right. If anyone saw Cavalera,
I'll picture you there.
Yeah. Basic. So yeah, do go to the Dev and see Blaspheme, and who else is playing that night? So I did see the gig.
Unfortunately, I can't say because I only knew that the old lineup, and I know that things have changed. So I'm going to be that terrible person.
Just type them up on Facebook. You'll find it there. You'll find it there. So. Or find it and post it down below.
It's a good lineup. It was a good lineup, and now it is a good lineup as well. But I know that some bands couldn't do it, and some bands can. I don't want to say the wrong information.
But yeah, well, we'll leave it at that.
Cool.
So thank you very much for checking out this. I don't know how long of a chat. I intend to go very much longer. Cam Lee one. Yes, 3 hours long. And
I maintain that like you couldn't cut a second of this.
No.
This is essential viewing.
But yeah, there you go. It's essential viewing. So thank you very much for checking this out. I've been Jacob Jake's Metal Chat. He's been Matt of Blaspheme. He's under a different name on Blaspheme. So those two are very different people. My Metal Vault video should be up already. I'm gonna record my favorite death metal album video tonight because I'm out tomorrow seeing Decapitated. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, share, comment on the video.
All the YouTube stuff.
All the YouTube stuff.
Say all the YouTube stuff.
All your YouTube stuff. Keep up to date with what I'm doing because I've gone over 500 subscribers now, which is mental.
That's it.
It is.
That's it. Well done.
500 and
well done, mate.
30 odd. Cheers for that, man.
Yeah,
and I'll see you all in the next one.
Later.